my name's Jack Hodgins. Just back to a new video I just done for this week. It's all about improving your satellite reception on your DJI Phantom. A lot of people have been sort of moaning. I mean, I've gone to certain areas and not had a really good GPS reception. Might get about a 5, not a full lock, so I end up flying without the full GPS lock, which can be a bit of pain in the bum. So I've been doing a bit of research on the internet, and a lot of people are saying that the installation on here is not, that there's something going wrong on here, and so I found a solution where underneath this we're going to take the shell off the Phantom, and we're going to have a look underneath, because last time I opened up the Phantom to do a complete body swap, when you take the lid off, there is quite a lot of cable that connects the GPS to the board, and they are saying that needs insulating, and hence why it's not getting as good signal as it should be getting. So what I'm going to try and do is peel back the protection that holds this sits over the GPS receiver itself, and see if we can run the cable underneath. So the cable's like insulated. Obviously we put some sort of insulation on the cable, plug it back in, and then we can do some tests, which I'll run some tests tomorrow, see if it actually makes any improvement on the reception side. So so this video I'm going to take it apart, show you what I'm going to do, put it back, and then I'll do another video and we'll follow that one through to show whether there was actually any improvements on that at all. If so, there's a fix. And we're doing it in such a way it won't actually ruin your warranty on your DJI Phantom if you've got a warranty. I'm not really worried about warranty on a Phantom, because something goes wrong I can just buy and replace it. You know, you can get every single part for it. So we'll have a look anyway. So we'll give it a go. And what's the fun of actually worrying about your warranty when you can actually put it apart and modify it and get a bit of, so I know a lot of people have been doing modification on their Phantom and go fly higher, further and things like that. You know, I'm not into sort of how far I can push the limits on it. I'm just interested in keeping a good signal and some good quality flying. Because I tend to start now flying around buildings and do sort of nice circle around, do some high ones at the top, so as long as the GPS stays intact, keeps it nice and still, and nice still shots. I've done one the other night up in Bracknell, where I've gone around one of the towers they're actually looking at demolishing down, and I did a night sort of fly. It was sort of 6:30ish, started flying, and it started getting rapidly darker as the time went on. About 7 o'clock it's almost pitch black. So the quality of the videos is not as good as I thought it would be, because there is a limit on what the camera plus can do. Daytime, perfect. Sunlight, perfect quality video all the time. But when it comes to sort of getting dark, not so good. It gets a bit sort of black and pixelated. But on that video you'll see what I mean by that anyway. But anyway, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pause. I'm going to pause this now. I'm going to undo the shell, and then we'll get back on to looking at what's under the shell. Alright, here we go. So we turn her over, and to undo the shell, you've got the 4 middle bolts here, if you can see, for the motors. So you don't undo those. So they're the motor bolts, so you don't need to undo those. You need to undo that screw and these 2 screws here, and there's one back here. And you do that on each of the arms, and that should then release the top layer. So what I'm going to do, rather than sit there and watch, let's see, I will actually snap it in the next section. Right, as you can see, I've undone all the bolts. Last one to go now is, again, it is very much there. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and that's what, and do that on each of the arms, and that actually releases the top shell off. So we just remove the last screws like so, and remember which screws go where, because obviously they're different sizes. The 2 fronts are different to the one at the back. So almost done now. God, I can't remember the last time I actually did this. I actually crashed my Phantom in a tree. Actually bent one of the arms slightly. It was enough to show the blade was actually, one of the propellers which actually was off centre, so it was actually rubbing against the case when it spun round. But because it's all plastic, you can't bend it back into shape. So I had to buy a new chassis, and swap all the gubbins over, and that's the first time I actually did it. I didn't actually do the video of it. I should actually videoed it so you guys could see what was inside Phantom and how it was all pulled apart. But I will go over it very shortly and explain to you. I've just had all the bolts are out. Screws. Yep, so there's fair bits. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. 4 screws per arm to get it off. And also use the right tools as well to do the job. That's all removed. So when you take it off, it should just literally lift up. Be careful when you lift it up. Right underneath there, you have this cable, which is right there. And this is this cable here. That is your GPS cable. So we'll just unplug that, and it's now lifted off. I'll go through the bottom, so we'll just move that out of the way for the moment. So there we go. So there's the protection, which protects the GPS signal, so it stops it from bouncing backwards. It obviously keeps the signal going up through the top of the shell. And it's this bit of cable along here that actually leaks the signal, where you lose the signal from it. It's doesn't lose it a lot, but it loses a fair bit. And this is the bit that needs to be insulating on here. So what I was going to actually do is take this padding off, because it's all sticky back, because it comes off nice, moves nice and easily, and run the cable underneath the shell. So this is then all covered inside. Put the sticky bit back, and it only gives a small bit out, small little bit left out for enough to put back into the Phantom itself. And we'll see if that actually makes any improvement on this. Alright, so there we go. So what I'm going to do is put this back on the shell, work out that's laying in like so. That's on there. Got to make sure, because what I did forget to work out is, because on the top of this shell you'll notice there's markings on here which way to spin your blades round, and I forgot to mark out which ones they were. So I'm just going to get one of my blades out, or two of my blades out, to work out which one's which. So the black ones should only go one way round, which that tells me the shell's on the wrong way round. So I think it came off that way. That's the right way. Just make sure that ties up with the other one, just that way round. Yeah, it does. Cool. And then that one, same one. Yeah, so that's what you got to keep an eye on, is make sure you know which the shell comes off from. Then from there, so get close up, lift that up again. I need to run that underneath out to the side there. So that's it's going to go all the way down the side there and come out of this bit here. So what I need to do is now peel back this, which is just be careful when you're pulling it off. Don't need to pull it all off, just need to sort of get it up a little bit. So as you can see, just pulled it up enough, and you can see just behind there, that's where the little aerial, as you want to call it, is behind. So I need to feed this cable through here, because obviously you can snip it at the end there, but I'm sure I can feed it through with no problems at all, rather than sort of snip and cut. So I just pull the cable through gently. You see, feeding it through, goes through nicely, fits nicely in there. I just wonder if this connector will go through as well. It's wide enough. Had to go through this way, and the manufacturer fitted it. Okay, it's now fed it through, and what I'm going to do is hide the cable underneath, leave it a little bit poked out, so it's just like poked out like that. I'll just see if that's long enough. Don't have to poke too much in there. That'll connect back on. I think. Oh, I think I got the wrong way around again. No, it's the right way around. I think I fed it through the wrong bit. it's not lining up. No, I need to go over a bit. So that is, I need to go over a bit. Oh no, I'm too far away from it. So put that a bit to that there. Is that enough to go on? And that should now match up against. Yep, that should be enough. Nice and tight, not too tight on there, and it's in. Okay, so we'll lay that in now. There you go. So that's how I've got it. So I'm going to bring it back a little bit. Cool. And then stick it all back down. There you go. So it's all stuck back down again. Very sticky stuff. So don't worry if you pull it out. It's not actually going to lose its stickiness. So you don't need to apply any glue like that to it. So that's all hidden down. Yeah, now you can see the cable now is completely hidden around and underneath. You've only got this little tiny little bit hanging out now. So if it is the cable that's leaking the signal, it should now be completely covered. So I'm going to put that back on in a sec. So right now you can see we're now looking under the shell of the DJI Phantom 2 Plus Vision. So as you can see, that's the flight controller. There's the actual the video receiver. It sends the signal back down to your iPhone basically, and you can see how much cabling, how mad it is underneath here. All this stuff. If you ever looked under the Vision 2, you don't have this receiver bit here. It's a lot more lighter and a lot less cables. So it's quite a fair bit of under the bonnet there. And when I had to take this apart, I had to undo most of these screws. I mean, I had to strip the whole of this inside completely out the shell, because on up here is where it actually was just slightly bent, just up. It was enough for the blades to hit the top so it wouldn't spin round, and there's no way you could bend it back. So I had to replace the whole shell. So I bought the shell for £45, and then I then had to strip all this out. So I had to undo everything, all these motors. It's EC bits. I think they're called EC bits anyway. They all have to be stripped out. To get this main board out, which is a bugger, because you've got all the screws. You can see which screws to undo. You've got one here unscrews here. You've got a few down here unscrew. But remember, when you what might be worth doing is take a picture of your iPhone or your phone basically, how this all looks, so you know which cables go where. It can get quite confusing, and a lot of these cables that are plugged in that you need to take out to be able to get to the bottom here and safely remove it. You need to know where to put it back, but they've also got little plastic it's like plastic mould on that keeps the connectors in so they don't fall out. So you need to break that away gently with sort of, I use these little mould grip things. Here we go, little tweezers, because it's easy to remove. I use these little tweezers to peel it back and that, and then you can then undo the plugs. This one here, because it's not documented, there's one screw underneath here you need to get to, then the main board lifts out, but it's actually buried underneath the video receiver here. And the way to get to that is this video receiver is actually double sticky taped to the actual board itself. So it's not screwed onto the board, it's actually double sticky tape. So you need to undo this little screw down in the corner here, and then you can actually see that. You have to undo this sort of tiny little screw here, and then use a very flat screwdriver, and careful as you do it, because you obviously don't want to break anything, is then slowly lift that up gently until, and keep moving underneath until you break all that double-sided sticky tape underneath, and then it will come up. But please remember to move these little receiver bits. Careful you don't bend or break anything. Again, when you're taking a picture of all this, you'll know which ones go where. Most of them, I mean, this is a very short cable here, so it's not going to reach over there, so there's only one place it can go. So it's quite the way it works here. You might have to undo some of these little clips here, but you can use you can reclip them back later anyway. Gives you a bit of room to play with. But yeah, so when you undo this, very careful. Just slide under your flat bedded screwdriver and slowly knock away and chip away at the double-sided tape underneath that, and then it will lift up basically. Then you can get to the screw, then the whole thing comes out. You've got little boards down in the bottom here. It's very hard to show you because the very tightly fitted down there. They're held in not with screws, they're actually held in with that sort of knobbly plastically thing on the top of it. Again, you just peel at them, it comes off, but they do slide back in there without actually worrying about putting that stuff back, because mine's not been put back, mine just slides back in place. I've not had any problem flying it since then, basically. So there we have it. So there's under the gubbins. Next time if I do end up breaking this again, then I'll do a strip down and we'll document it on video for you, so you can actually see underneath the Phantom and how it's all moved about. So I mean, it has a lot of flight time with this, and it's been pretty good. So and there you go, why it's all off. I'll take a nice big proper. We can see all that. There you go. There you go, bare and naked. Okay, right. I'm going to put the lid back on this, plug it all back in, and then tomorrow I will take it for a test flight. I might actually power it up in a minute because I know, because I'm in my garage. This is where I do all my builds, in the garage. I can normally get about 4 satellites while it's on the bench. So what I'm going to try and do in a sec, I'll power it up and see if I actually get anything more than 4, because I know I can get 4. It's between 3 and 4. So it stays at 4 or it's 5. Then we know it's actually made some improvement, especially in the garage here. So I'm just going to screw this all back together, and we'll do a quick catch up in a sec. There then, it's all put back together now, so all shell back on. So hopefully that will give us some sort of improvement on signal on the GPS side. I just noticed underneath is I don't know if you've actually ever taken things apart or replaced motors, or if you use prop gas. I would every now and again, and I've just noticed on these 4 bolts here, which holds the motors in place, I actually found that most of mine were loose, because obviously these vibrate quite a lot, because obviously spinning around. So it might be worth every now and again is retighten those. You don't want them end up coming loose and then end up ripping your motor and causing lots of problems. So mine were actually sort of, some of them were quite loose. I've just gone around and retightened them back up again to make sure they don't fall off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to power the Phantom up. I roughly know how much GPS I actually receive in the garage. So I'm going to see if I actually get any more difference. So let's power up. There you go. And we'll now see what we get. So if I get everything flicked on, and I get my phone tuned into the Phantom itself, so give us a sec on that one. Let's have a look. Where's our Phantom gone? Phantom. Come on, where are you gone? It's not coming up on my wireless yet. Okay. Come on, pop up. Don't forget, guys, there is the new firmware. I don't know if you guys actually firmwared it. I think it's 3.06. So I just did mine the other day. So that's how much it's probably. It looks like it's been out for a while anyway, but obviously I've missed it. So I'm pretty good on doing the firmware, but obviously this one I've missed it. So there you go. Right, so I've got my Phantom connected. So now, oh, going to the wrong app. We don't want music, do we? Turn everything off. Find my app on here, DJI Vision. Right, see what it is actually seeing. As you can see, it's actually got full green lock. So just outside my house, where I normally get about here, as you can see on the driveway path, I normally receive about 5 satellites, and then if I go further up there, or some particular days I will get more, but as you can see from here, it's actually got a full lock. So, and then if I look at the on the phone, you can actually see that it's actually showing you it's actually a 7 or 8. There you go. It actually has made a massive difference. So I'm well chuffed with that. Full lock, ready to go, and a full 8 signal. Absolute fantastic. I'm chuffed with that result.